Hello, everyone. Welcome to New Gen Politics. So Trump continues to crash out about the Epstein case and continues to say it's a hoax, even while people were testifying about their encounters with Jeffrey Epstein, what he did to them, what happened to them, and are saying that there were other people involved. So Trump, during a press conference, gave this response about that issue.
Mr. President, right now there have been survivors of Jeffrey Epstein speaking at a press conference on Capitol Hill. They're calling for these case files, these documents to be released. And Thomas Massie, who was sponsoring a discharge position to get the House to vote on releasing those documents, says he doesn't believe you're implicated in these files, but many of your friends and donors may be, and he says that's why the Justice Department is redacting them and slow-walking the release. Is the Justice Department protecting any friends or donors, sir?
So this is a Democrat hoax that never ends. You know, it reminds me a little of the Kennedy situation. We gave him everything over and over again, more and more and more, and nobody's ever satisfied. From what I understand, I could check, but from what I understand, thousands of pages of documents have been given. But it's really a Democrat hoax because they're trying to get people to talk about something that's totally irrelevant to the success that we've had as a nation since I've been president. Even if you look at D.C. right now, D.C., it's a totally safe zone. It's called a safe zone. That's a term. It's a term of art. It's a safe zone because it's very safe. You can walk down the street now and nothing's going to happen. No crime, no murders, no nothing. Because we had a lot of problems with certain places, and we still do. All run by Democrats, or for the most part run by Democrats. So what they're trying to do with the Epstein hoax is get people to talk about that instead of speaking about the tremendous success like ending 7 wars. Sure. I ended 7 wars. Nobody's going to talk about because they're going to talk about the Epstein whatever. Sir, I understand that we were subpoenaed to give files, and I understand we've given thousands of pages of files. And I know that no matter what you do, it's going to keep going. And I think it's enough because I think we should talk about the greatness of our country and the success that we're having. I think we're probably having, according to what I read, even from 2 people in this room, we're having the most successful 8 months of any president ever. And that's what I want to talk about. That's what we should be talking about, not the Epstein hoax.
When's going to make a decision? And guys, he sounds so guilty. He sounds so guilty. Now, I'm not saying Trump himself was in on it, doing these things, but there's something there. There's a reason he's covering this up. Most people think it's probably because of Epstein's connections to Israel and how bad that would make the Israeli government look if all of that came out, and Trump doesn't want that to happen. That's probably the most likely scenario because Epstein was, really good friends with the former prime minister of Israel. So direct connection there that could be lead to a lot of problems. But for some reason, Trump continues to say this is a hoax. And what part of it being a hoax is what is confusing is basically he says like the list is a hoax. So he's not denying that that Epstein was a real person and did this stuff. He's not denying that there was literally thousands of victims. But for some reason, he's saying that it was only Epstein and only Ghislaine. No one else was involved. And somehow these 2 individuals were able to victimize thousands of people. That seems a little far-fetched to me, at least. And I think to most people, especially when the victims come out and say things like this.
Transparency is justice. Release the files, end the secrecy, and stand with us in declaring that no one, no billionaires, no politicians, not world leaders, is above the law. And let me announce now, several of us Epstein survivors have been discussing creating our own list of names. We know the names. Many of us were abused by them. Now together as survivors, we will confidentially compile the names we all know were regularly in the Epstein world. And it will be done by survivors and for survivors. No one else is involved. Stay tuned for more details on that. because history is watching, and so are the women who will come after us. That's right. Thank you.
So straight up saying that there was more people, we know who they are, we want to release our own list. They should just do that. They should just say the names of these people. It could lead to some legal, defamation sort of stuff, because that would definitely be a character assault for sure. But the government should look into those people. And if they have a list that, unanimously they agree on, 30 or 40 of them say we all, this person was there doing this person was there doing this, that's something that probably should come out, because the government's not releasing anything. Like, there should be pressure on the government. He's trying to get things released. The Trump administration is still trying to halt it. They said they released 32,000 documents. Yeah, and most of them look like this. That's literally nothing. The entire page is blacked out. You can't read anything. And a lot of pages are like that. And they say, oh, well, it's just we're protecting the victims. No one's asking for the victims' names. For the last time, no one's asking for the victims' names. No one's asking for their photos. They want to know what happened to these people and who did it to them. It's that simple. You don't need to give us the name. You can black the name out. You can say black out the name and say, and it starts with was assaulted by this person and had this happen to them. You just black the name out. Nobody's asking for the names. And so they just continue to hide things, continue not to release anything. The congressmen seem to think that there's a lot more there, because Nancy Mace ran out of the meeting crying, hearing about all the things that happened. And yet we're just not hearing about that stuff. We're just not going to get that information. So, and when Trump continues to call this a hoax, and it's like a Democrat hoax, and thinks that his base will just blindly believe that, that's not the case. It's not going to happen. People think you look guilty. It's just a total deflection. It's a bad idea from a political standpoint, and it's an awful idea from a moral standpoint, because all of these other people, bar Epstein and Ghislaine, are still out there, probably still doing this exact same thing. And we're not doing anything about it. And so people are very upset. Rightfully so. This isn't going away. Over the last couple of weeks, it kind of died down for a little bit. Maybe they thought it was going away, but this is never going away. This will be the thing that hangs over Trump's legacy forever, as the guy who promised to drain the swamp and then did everything in his power to protect it. Yet just saying no investigations, there's nothing there, it's a hoax, don't look into it. Are we still talking about this? It's crazy. It's absurd. And so his base is turning on him. And this is really bad. It's never going to go away. And we probably aren't going to get answers from at least the administration. Maybe people like Massey and some of the other, I can't remember his name, but I think there was a Democrat rep working with Massey on this one, who maybe they can get something out there. Maybe they can actually release something that actually matters, actually tells what happened. But the government's going to do everything in their power to cover it up. And I think one of the reasons is because it goes so deep. Another rep was saying that she was giving an interview and saying it's so much worse than we thought. And some very rich and powerful people should be in prison. It's okay, that's a big red flag that you're saying certain individuals should be in prison. And it probably goes really deep. The fact that there's probably thousands of people involved, hundreds or thousands of the richest, most powerful people in the world. Certainly some of them have been implicated, people like Prince Andrew, Bill Gates. If those people actually, it finds out that that's real, and you're talking about hundreds or thousands of CEOs, celebrities, members of governments, that's a big problem, because the trust in the people, when you find out that thousands of your leaders, your icons, were in on one of the most heinous crimes ever committed, one of the biggest scandals ever, the people are going to lose their minds. And Trump is a guy who I think favors stability. So even if I don't think he was personally, getting involved with the kids, probably not. He may have had some financial ties to Epstein and did some, less than above the board financial practices in New York, because that was what Epstein was doing beforehand. Maybe he just favors stability so much. He doesn't want all that to come out and America to descend into chaos. Maybe he thinks sacrificing a couple children is better than, having the whole country fall apart. That's wrong. That's morally, that's not the right thing to do, but maybe he thinks that. Maybe he just loves Israel so much that he doesn't want to implicate them no matter what. It could be any of those things. I think all of them are relatively likely, but I think we can all agree on something that this is really suspicious. This looks really, really suspicious. It looks really bad. And when he says it's a hoax, no one believes it. And when he deflects and he's like, oh, well, they just don't want to talk about how great we're doing. It's like, no, you're doing good things on the surface. I think your party is still agreeing with you on that. But at the end of the day, if we're some kind of occupied nation, if our congressmen and women, if our judges, if the president of the United States is compromised by some shadow organization or a foreign government that is dictating what they're allowed to do or not do, suddenly you don't have freedom to actually pass legislation that matters. That's the real crux of it. Is there is nothing more important, there's no policy more important than the fact that are our politicians being controlled by somebody, be it via blackmail or bribery or whatnot? That's the most important thing. And to say that we're not even going to look into that, it makes it look like you're part of that. So that's my thoughts on this. I think this story will continue to develop. It seems Massey and some other reps are really trying to get this information out, more real information, not just blacked out pages anymore. So we'll have to see how that goes. But in the meantime, that's my thoughts on this. If you made it all the way through the video, I appreciate it. If you like the content, like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. And thank you for watching.